The White House press room, a sanctum of power, protocol, and carefully crafted words, was transformed into a chaotic arena of raw emotion and unscripted drama on a day that will be remembered for decades. Barron Trump, the enigmatic youngest son of former U.S. President Donald Trump, didn't just step into the spotlight. He seized it with both hands and hurled a verbal grenade that detonated with earth-shaking force. The air was thick with disbelief as Barron, barely out of his teenage years, faced down a room full of seasoned journalists and delivered a response so fierce, so unapologetic, that it sent shockwaves rippling across the nation and beyond. What sparked this jaw-dropping moment? What audacious question dared to challenge him? And why, oh why, does his answer still echo in every corner of the world? Strap in, because this tale is about to take you on a wild, unforgettable ride. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning in Washington, D.C., or so it seemed. The skies were a crisp, steely gray, and the iconic White House stood resolute, its pillars gleaming under the faint winter light. Inside, the press room buzzed like a beehive on the brink of collapse. Journalists from every major outlet, CNN, BBC, The New York Times, Al Jazeera, had descended like vultures, their notepad pages crisp, their cameras primed, and their questions sharpened to a razor's edge. The stakes were astronomical. Whispers of a major announcement had been swirling for days, and every reporter in the room was hungry for a scoop that could define their career. Then the double doors swung open with a slow, deliberate creak, and in walked Barron Trump. At just over 6 feet tall, with a steely gaze inherited from his father and a quiet confidence that belied his youth, he was an instant magnet for every eye in the room. The flashbulbs popped like gunfire, bathing him in a blinding strobe of light. Whispers rippled through the crowd. He's here. What's he going to say? Is this a stunt? But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared them for the seismic event about to unfold. The room was a simmering cauldron of anticipation when a grizzled veteran reporter from the Washington Post, a man known for his unrelenting tenacity, stood up, his voice slicing through the hum like a thunderclap. Adjusting his glasses, he leaned into the microphone with a smirk that suggested he'd been waiting for this moment his entire career. His words dropped like a match into a pool of gasoline. "Barron, let's cut the nonsense. What do you really think about your father's politics, his decisions? Is Donald Trump a visionary leader for the world, or just a self-serving showman who's in it for himself?" The question landed like a sucker punch. A collective gasp sucked the oxygen out of the room, followed by a silence so profound you could hear the faint hum of the overhead lights. Heads swiveled, pens froze mid-scribble, and every camera lens zoomed in on Barron's face. The reporter's tone dripped with provocation. He wasn't just asking a question, he was laying a trap, daring Barron to stumble, to reveal a crack in the Trump family armor. Everyone braced for a dodge, a deflection, maybe a nervous laugh. But Barron Trump, he wasn't about to play their game. Oh no, he was ready to flip the table entirely. Barron didn't hesitate. He reached for the microphone with a grip so steady it seemed carved from stone, his piercing blue eyes locking onto the reporter with the intensity of a predator sizing up its next kill. The silence stretched for an agonizing heartbeat. Then he unleashed a torrent of words that hit like a tsunami. "My father isn't just some politician. He's one of the greatest leaders this country, and frankly, this planet has ever witnessed. You press people, you're vultures circling for scraps, twisting reality to fit your narratives. You'll never tear down what he's built, no matter how hard you try." Boom! The room exploded into utter bedlam. Reporters shouted over each other, some leaping to their feet, others pounding away at laptops as if their lives depended on it. Did he just say that? He's a kid. What nerve. This is gold. The flashbulbs went into overdrive, turning the scene into a strobe-lit battlefield. Barron stood there, unyielding, his jaw set, his posture radiating defiance as the chaos swirled around him. Some journalists nodded in reluctant admiration. Here was a kid with guts. Others scribbled furiously, already crafting headlines branding him as brash, arrogant, a mini-Trump in the making. One thing was undeniable: Barron had just lit a match, and the world was about to catch fire. Within seconds, yes, seconds, Barron's words were hurtling through cyberspace like a meteor shower. Twitter erupted into a digital war zone. Barron speak shot to the top of global trends, racking up millions of mentions in mere minutes. Supporters roared their approval. He's got the Trump steal. A lion cub roaring already? The press messed with the wrong kid. Detractors fired back with venom. Spoiled brat. He's too green to talk like that. The apple doesn't fall far. Viral clips of his stand spread like wildfire, amassing tens of millions of views as memes, reaction videos, and hot takes flooded every platform imaginable. Back at the White House, staffers scrambled to contain the fallout. Phones rang off the hook, aides darted through hallways clutching tablets, and the press secretary, a harried figure in a crisp suit, stormed to the podium with a statement scribbled on a crumpled napkin. Barron Trump is a private citizen with every right to his opinions, she declared, her voice tight with urgency. But let's be crystal clear. His words do not represent official White House policy. This is not a directive. It's a young man speaking his mind. The clarification was like tossing a pebble into a raging river. It barely made a ripple amid the torrent of reactions. Barron had stolen the narrative, and there was no putting this genie back in the bottle. As the world dissected his every syllable, Barron pulled a move straight out of a Hollywood thriller. Sources leaked that he'd chartered a private jet under the cloak of night, bound for Europe, destination undisclosed. Picture the scene. Barron, silhouetted against the tarmac lights, boarding a sleek Gulfstream as a cold wind whipped his coat, his expression unreadable behind dark sunglasses. Was he fleeing the media frenzy, seeking solitude to process the whirlwind he'd unleashed, or plotting his next chess move on a global stage? Insiders whispered he craved space, to breathe, to think, to decide who he wanted to be beyond the Trump dynasty. Meanwhile, back in the US, the speculation machine roared into overdrive. Cable news panels debated his motives 24/7. Is this a publicity stunt? Is he prepping for politics? What's the kid hiding? Pundits clashed, psychologists analyzed, and late-night hosts cracked jokes. Barron Trump had become the enigma everyone wanted to crack. Before his departure, though, a poignant moment unfolded behind closed doors. Donald Trump, the larger-than-life patriarch, pulled Barron aside in the Oval Office's shadow. The room was quiet, the weight of history pressing down as father faced son. "Barron," Trump said, his voice low and gravelly, "the world's yours to take or leave. But never forget this. The Trump name is a fortress, a legacy, a force. Use it wisely." Barron met his father's gaze, nodded once, and turned to go. Was it a passing of the torch, a challenge to rise? The door clicked shut and the mystery deepened. Barron Trump isn't fading into the background. Oh no, he's just getting started. Word from his inner circle suggests he's sketching out a bold new path, one where he can speak his truth without the chains of expectation. In Europe, he's reportedly meeting with mentors, exploring ideas, and journaling late into the night under the glow of ancient chandeliers. Is he dreaming of politics, where he could wield the Trump name like a sword? Or perhaps a media empire, flipping the script on the press that's hounded him? Maybe he'll carve out something entirely new, a voice for a generation tired of the old rules. Back home, the ripples refuse to settle. School cafeterias buzz with kids debating his cool factor, barbershops hum with arguments over his guts, and congressional aides whisper about the Barron effect on future campaigns. Historians are already scribbling notes. This wasn't just a press conference, it was a declaration of independence, a spark that could ignite a revolution. One truth stands tall amid the storm. Barron Trump's fearless stand has seared his name into the fabric of time. Friend or foe, admirer or skeptic, you can't look away. This isn't the end, it's the dawn of something massive. The world holds its breath, waiting for his next move. Will he rise as a titan, a rebel, a visionary? Whatever he chooses, one thing's for damn sure. Barron Trump has thrown down the gauntlet and the game will never be the same.